one of three things is happening. You're driving and you've entered a tunnel. You're driving through the tunnel, or you're driving and you're just about to exit the tunnel. When boom! Explosions to the front. Boom! Explosions to the rear. You might see the flash of the explosion. Your vehicles and everybody else's vehicles are being buffeted by the shockwave. You feel the heat. People are panicking. You slam the anchors on too late. The guy in front's already stopped. You slam into the back of him. Somebody smashes into the back of you. Cars are crashing all over the place. Some are tipping over. Some are crashing into the walls. Horns are blaring. Silence. And a few expletives, no doubt. All of a sudden you hear gunfire. People are now starting to run, screaming, shouting, running backwards and forwards, running everywhere. What are you going to do? Because you have just been caught in a terrorist attack in a tunnel. Great question from Sarge at Prepping with Sarge, asking what would you do if you were caught in a terrorist attack in a tunnel? And I'm going to answer this with not so much what I would do, but I'm going to try and give you some considerations, maybe get you to ask a few more questions if you're looking at this from your own point of view. So we can look at a tunnel from different aspects. Is it a tunnel through rock? Is it a tunnel that crosses or like underpasses that go through roadways in towns and cities? Is it a tunnel that goes through a body of water, under a body of water, sorry? Is it a river, a lake? Is it the sea? What is that tunnel? We can also look at this because we're going to, like I said, we're going to look at places where we can close one end or both ends. A tunnel's a great idea, isn't it? You can shut both ends there and control both ends. But you can also do this on a suspension bridge as well. If you've got a suspension bridge in your area, you can do the same thing. You can blockade both ends. You can do it on a motorway as well. You can block one end by having a crash, causing a crash, explosions and everything like that. Everybody else is going to stop. So you block the whole motorway. So you don't have to block the other end. And then you can walk, terrorists can walk up the motorway and do what they want to do. So depending on where you are, you might have a suspension bridge or a normal bridge, you might have tunnels, motorways, dual carriageways, anything like that. You can transport that motorway, the tunnel theory into different other considerations. Each one will give you certain aspects of what you would like to do, what you can do and what you can't do. So let's look at a few considerations. If you haven't looked at this before, when you do consider this, and if you're going to plan for this, which you should plan, because if you've not planned, you're not going to have a good response. What you're going to be is panicking and running around like everybody else, because you won't know where to go, you won't know what to do. You need to plan for it. So use what's called a route recce when you do this. Much like a route recce that I would do if I was protecting a principal, a VIP or somebody like who I was protecting. I would do a route recce where I'm recceing the route, making sure that it's drivable, it's safe, there's no obstructions or anything like that. Looking at choke points, looking at attack points. You can do that with your tunnel, your bridge, because where these places are, you're going to slow down anyway because they'll have speed restrictions. So within that, you can either do it yourself with your phone on the dash, with a dash cam, or you could get somebody videoing the tunnel, the access to the tunnel as you're driving through it. So look at whatever you're driving through, the tunnel, a bridge, or anywhere else. Look at a few things about it. First of all, what's its length? What's its height? If it's a tunnel, what's its length? What's its depth? Do you know how far it goes under the water? How far it goes under the earth? What depth does it go to? How long is it? Is it just a couple of 100 meters? Is it a K? Is it a 2 mile, 3 mile tunnel? What height is it if it's a bridge? Again, if you're looking to escape from a bridge, there's a few things you need to take into consideration. What is the lighting like in the tunnel? Is it the same through the day or through the night? And with street lighting, we're looking at every so often, depending on the length of your tunnel, the tunnel that you drive through, the lighting will be at certain distances. So you're going to have lit areas, you're going to have dark areas. What's the busiest times of the day? What rush hour is in your area? So if you were a terrorist going to attack a tunnel, When are you going to do it? 3 in the morning if it's not very busy, or midday, maybe school runs to and from school. What time's your rush hour? So when's the busiest? And I've been the same. I've been in one of those areas where you've got no other option but to go in that to drive that location, and you get stuck in traffic. What type of vehicles go through your tunnel? Last thing I'd want to be parked against is a tanker truck transporting petrol, oil, that sort of thing. Something that's going to make explosions even worse. So what type of vehicles go through your tunnel? When we're looking at your response plans, if it's people doing deliveries, drive the route at different times of the day. Find out, do it over a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Find out what is routine in that tunnel or bridge or wherever you're going, so you get a good idea on what vehicles are going through there. So again, if we're looking at an attack, what vehicles are good for hiding behind, making obstructions, making obstacles? What comms are in the tunnel as well? So again, mobile phones. If you're going under a river, under a lake, under the sea, your mobile phone's going to work. Depending on the length of the tunnel as well, emergency phones will be there. 500 meters or more, a K or more from the tunnel, you're going to get telephones, maybe 150, 200 meters, every 250, 100 meters. Same with access points as well, evacuation points in that road. So understanding when you're doing your route recce where the evacuation points are, where the emergency telephones are. CCTV, is there CCTV in that tunnel, which there normally is? Where is it? Can you attract somebody's attention, unless it's been knocked out in the initial explosion? One of the things on a fire plan for tunnels is they advise people to keep their headlights on. Now, if all the lights have been kicked out because of an explosion and all the lighting's gone out, why would you want to keep your headlights on? Because all you're going to do is, maybe if you haven't crashed, but if you're in a position where the headlights are on, you're going to light up everything in front of you. And if it's a 3-4 lane motorway, everybody's going to light up everything in front of them. So you're lighting up the people in front of you, the people behind you are lighting you up. So why would you do that? All you're doing is making the terrorist job easier. So again, the police, the emergency services say leave your lights on in a fire. Great, I totally understand that. If it was a terrorist attack, why would you leave your lights on? Maybe turn your lights off. Maybe you won't be able to turn your lights off because the car, you might not be able to. The car might be wrecked and you won't be able to turn your lights off. Escape routes. So depending on where you are when that attack happens, whether it's at one of the entrances or part way through that tunnel, what is your response plan? What have you made plans? What's the plans you've made for at each different one? Now, in the UK, we're unarmed, so unless we're near one of the entrances and we haven't been killed in the initial blast, we may have to fight. I'd like to meet somebody who can outrun the speed of bullets these days, but I don't think I'm going to meet anybody like that. So yes, we're going to have vehicles that we can, without the fire, we can fire and manoeuvre without the fire, move tactically between vehicles as fast as possible using cover, darkness, concealment and everything else. If we're that far away from where the initial gunfire is going to come from. If we can't, we might have to fight. For my American friends out there, if you're armed, yep, you've got a better response than we have in the UK if you've got a CCW license. But what else do you have in your vehicle that you could be used as a weapon? And one of the big things here that people go, yeah, I've got my go bag in my boot, in the boot of my car. I've got my first aid kit. If there's been multiple pile-ups within that because people panicking, are you going to be able to access the boot? Are you going to be able to open the boot, or is it going to be crumpled? How are you going to access your kit, whatever it is you've got? Do you have personal first aid kits? Do you have vehicle first aid kits? Do you have go bags? One of the things I always carry is a smoke hood. I've been caught in a couple of fires, 3 floors down where the fire was 1 floor above me, hotel fire, not the tube, but I've been involved where there's not been a fire, but there's been lots of smoke. I've had my smoke hood. That's been great. So do you carry enough smoke hoods for your family in the vehicle, especially if you do travel through these areas pretty often. So make your response plan for different points within that vehicle, and look at your escape kit as well. Remember what we're doing. We're looking to deter, first of all, deter, then delay, and then deplete the enemy. Deter, stop them getting to us to kill us. Delay them. If it was a normal situation, like on the thumbnail where you've just got a traffic jam, yeah, move vehicles, make blockades, do things like that. If everybody's panicked and there's loads of crashes and there's vehicles all over the place, that's going to hinder you just as much as it's going to hinder the terrorists. So delay them. How are you going to delay them? They might be delayed anyway. They might have trouble seeing people if there's smoke from the explosions. But how can you make more smoke? Can you set fire to something else? Do you have fire starting? Do you have matches? Do you have lighters? Do you have something that can be set fire to make maybe a smoke screen? I don't know, your part of the world, can you carry smoke canisters, smoke grenades, things like that? Delaying them and then depleting them. And this is where it sounds really callous, but hopefully we're in a position far enough away from the initial attack where hopefully by the time they get to us, they've no more rounds left because they've been killing people. So how do we deplete them? And don't forget, if we've got, because it's in a tunnel, we've got explosions at both ends. They're cutting off the tunnel. So terrorists inside, going through the tunnel, killing people. Terrorists outside as well, because they're going to want to deter, delay, and deplete whatever law enforcement are coming. So in this situation, really don't expect law enforcement to turn up too quickly, because you're going to have massive traffic jams, especially to the entrance of the tunnel. And they will be there. I'd expect them to be there as cut-offs to take out any, or to be involved in a firefight with any law enforcement coming in while the other terrorists are inside doing what they've got to do. Have a look at that from your own point of view, from the tunnel you're going through, the bridge you're going over every single day. What about when you go away to work or you're on holiday? I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the tunnels I used to go through, so working in Brazil, roughly about 6 weeks of the year, protecting people. One of the tunnels we used to go through every single day from in Rio, from Leblon into Baja. We'd go through that pretty much every day. So that used to go past Racina favela, and what these drug gangs used to do, they'd come down, and it was Tunnel Zuzu Angel, and what they'd do, they'd block each end of the tunnel and rob everybody and then go back into the favela before the police turned up. Luckily, never happened when I was there. We were travelling through there once, a couple of motorbikes went past, backfired. The friends who were with me, the friends of the people I was protecting, they were on the floor, fast as anything. They thought we were being shot at. They were really worried. Luckily, it didn't happen in the time I was there, in the years that I was there. But that was a tactic that they would use, pretty much looking like what this attack would look like, a terrorist attack. So again, knowing that tunnel. Luckily, part of my response plan was we used the BOPI, the Brazilian Special Forces out there. We worked with them, so we always had 2 or 3 of those armed police out there helping us out as running interference while we would make escapes. So that was a tunnel that we used to go through every day, and it's a long tunnel, that as well. The other tunnel was Pondelalma. My French isn't what it used to be. That is the tunnel that Princess Di unfortunately died in. We used to drive through that every day. 2.5 years in Paris protecting people. We'd drive through that every single day. It's slightly different. You've got 2-way traffic in that. A lot of tunnels, you'll just get 1-way traffic. And again, that can pose lots of different problems as well, unless you've got, like in that tunnel where you've got two lanes of traffic as in a normal road. So look at the tunnel that you're in, plan your escape, plan of what your responses are going to be, because otherwise you're just going to be like everybody else running around. I hope I've given you some more things to think about if you're looking at your own tunnel. Just as a quick for instance there, we've had a tunnel blocked. Blackwall Tunnel in London was blocked by ISIS supporters. 2014. Now, if you were in that tunnel at that time with pro-Palestinian and ISIS supporters, there was ISIS flags, pro-Palestinian flags, Palestinian flags being waved all about. So if you were blocked in that tunnel at that time, that will have been a pretty scary situation to have been in, because you wouldn't have known if they were going to see someone not from that background and then attack them. So, and there were a lot of supporters in that tunnel when they blocked that tunnel. I hope I've given you some things to think about. Really would look forward to seeing what your comments are. Please like, subscribe if you've enjoyed this. My name's Rock. This is Viper Tactical Training. Stay dangerous.